at the end of the day, you got to govern. You got to work with both political parties.
Absolutely.
That never gets away. I think our best days are when we have divided government and people are forced to make decisions. The deadlines work. We are clearly the opposite of Congress right now. They can't even pass a kidney stone. They killed Tim Scott's bill in the Senate, which is a starting point on police reform. It was nauseating that they wouldn't even let that thing go to a full vote to even put in the position to negotiate with the House. But speak to your experience, if you can, former Senator Bill Carrico joining us here, about what it's like to govern and how are you going to make that transition from campaign bill to governor bill?
Well, as you know, I mean, we've both been there. You can't just govern to the far right or to the far left. You've got to govern, you've got to find common ground. And, you know, I've done that in my 18 years in the General Assembly. There's issues that that wasn't popular with the Republicans. And I'll give you one example is before I left and was chairman of transportation, we were being bombarded with the problems on I-81. How do you fix that? The only way you fix that is with a funding source. And so working with Mark Obenshane, sitting down with Secretary Shannon Valentine, we started talking about funding options. And in the end, it came down to a increase on the gas tax on I-81, which, you know, got us moving forward.
Right.
But in the end, ended up in this year's session, another increase, which was not the right way to go. We have to focus on 11 million vehicles going up and down I-81 a year. I mean, you just can't, you know, 47,000 at the interchange of I-81 and I-77 every day. The only highway that transports 47% of Virginia goods on it. You've got to do something with that road. And you can't do it by taking away from education and other avenues that you don't have. The biggest problem that we had was the expansion of Medicaid and how it ate into our budget at the rate it was eating into it and not having any discretionary money to do anything with it.
Right.
And so we had to come up with a funding source. So I worked with the other side and we came up with something and we put it forward so that we could put the bonds out there and we could start making improvements to this interstate highway. Now, was that the best solution? It was the only one we had at the time, and we worked across the aisle to get it done.
And that's something that I frankly is lost because people want to be like, you know, I'm never going to do anything, so send me there. I've never understood that concept. It's sort of lost on me. People are saying, you know, we're gonna hold up this value, and we're never going to do this, and we're never going to do that because people are like, well, that's not something we want you to do anyway. I mean, basically, state government is, you know, roads and schools and public safety and Medicaid for health care and corrections and paying pensions. You know, it's not glamorous. It's you know, it's in the boat rowing stuff. You were on Senate Finance Committee. I think people oversimplify the difficulty of governing even in state government.
Yeah, and in the process of governing, you've got to have the ability to say no to some things. You've got to have the ability to say that we've got to find a different solution for that. We've got to move in the direction in which we can afford. It's almost running your home, your household incomes and your household budgets. Is if you can't afford the new car, you don't buy the new car.
Right.
You have to find a way to fund these projects without taking away from those core services that you're talking about.
Right.